week, as far as team and scheme and everything, and I'm just getting back out there for a lot of those guys. But overall, I thought the guys looked good. I felt good. Neve was feeling good, so it was a good day.
I know you were probably pretty excited to get back in the team drills. What was it like during that period where they did hold you back?
Yeah, not being out there, I was obviously frustrating. I think we talked a little bit about it last week, but I want to be out there every day. I want to be a full participant in every single thing, but that wasn't totally my call. And, you just got to be smart in those situations. So it was tough, but yeah, getting back out there yesterday in the full live team drills, well, not live, but in the full team drills was definitely, I enjoyed it.
If it was your call, would you have played this whole entire training camp full?
It was up to the doctors. I would have loved to play in the Super Bowl too, but I wasn't physically capable.
In terms of knowing how much you can do and practice.
Yeah, I felt good. I think you guys saw all camp. Me moving around and everything. I think again, it just kind of boiled down to a controlled environment. That's what we wanted to maintain for a while there. So that's what it was.
What do you think you are going into game one? Do you think you're on track for that?
Yeah, like I said, really kind of same as last week. We're still it's going to be close. It's going to be close, and nothing's really changed from last week other than just the 11-on-11 practice. But the final hurdle, which will not be my decision, will be being cleared for contact.
Is there a date for when that decision will be made? Like, do you know when you'll have your final test to be cleared for contact?
I'm not fully sure yet. No.
Because the doctors making that decision, they have to go a lot by your input, though, right? And so,
yeah, they go off of how you feel, and they do some different tests and different things. And again, like I think I mentioned last week, we'd have to ask them and get them up here, maybe pick their brain. But yeah, it's their final call. They're the ones that are the experts in the medical field. So
you mentioned the reevaluation coming into this week. When they do that, do they give you any new information? Do they say how it's going, or how does that work?
Yeah, a little bit, and everything's been going well. I think all throughout rehab, just been a constant progression, and I feel really good where I'm at.
You've been only ready to play right now.
There have been only 3 quarterbacks that have torn their ACL later than you have, come back and played in week 1. But there doesn't seem to be any concern you're pushing the envelope at all after talking with the doctors.
No, and again, I think that's the doctor's decision. I'm going to trust what they say, and and it's more than just one doc in there. There's a lot of medical brains in there, kind of trying to make the decisions. So I know where I feel, I know how I feel, and where I'm at with it, and it'll ultimately be their decision, and the coach's decisions.
Is there anything that you need to see from yourself over these next kind of 2.5 weeks?
Not in particular. I just want to keep getting out there, keep getting the reps, and I think more so from just getting out there with the guys. Some of these new faces and stuff around here. 7-on-7 can present some things, but it's a different animal when you got all 11 in there. So just keep getting the continuity with these guys.
Hey, Carson, you said that it's going to come down to
Cleared for full contact.
We'd have to ask them.
In terms of working with the guys who you're going to throw to in the regular season, guys who you haven't thrown to before, do we sort of overrate how important practice reps are, or can you sort of?
Practice reps are important, without a doubt. I think, I've kind of seen it all. My rookie year obviously didn't get many reps and or really much chances with the ones at all until really late there. But then last year going through a whole off season, I think just the more the reps, the better, and the more you can be on the same page. And the nice thing is, throughout training camp and everything. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes things from just watching film with guys and talking through routes and concepts and just trying to get them to see what you see. And so a lot of it is just off the field too, but there's nothing quite like the live reps.
I imagine game planning begins next week. How deep into game planning can you and Nick split reps before you need to know who's starting?
Yeah, I think that'll be really coach's call, and I'm already not looking forward to next week already. Right now, we're game planning for the Browns, and although I won't be playing, I'm fully invested in just preparing it like as if I were playing, and we'll reevaluate next week.
When they have these discussions with all the medical, are you present for all of them?
Some of them. Obviously most of them we're kind of all in communication, and then there's other ones that I'm obviously not there.
Do you feel like sometimes that you're just kind of just sitting there listening to them, or do they kind of say, hey, how are you feeling?
It's open communication. Yep.
Yeah.
You said it's going to be the doctor's final call. You said that all along. But just in terms of feel right now, do you feel as if you're ready to play?
I feel good. I feel good. I mean, like I said, I think you guys kind of see me out there. I have really no hesitation, in the pocket when guys are around me, those things. I feel really good. But it's going to come down to if they feel confident in contact and when that is, I can't say yet.
Have they mentioned in those discussions the difference if you get 9 months to heal an ACL versus not having 9 months, and that you're kind of right on the verge of that?
Yeah, a little bit, and there's always textbooks and science and different things that I don't know all about yet that doctors do. So I mean that stuff definitely plays into their decisions for sure.
Pause and look back to where you were on your first rehab day, walking around with a cane, and how far you've come.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been a grueling process, a whirlwind off season. I think, I've talked a lot about that, but just from a rehab standpoint, I mean, when you're in the building almost every day during the week, all off season, you really don't get any break and then just the physical limitations early on and just overcoming that, kind of step by step. It's been a grueling process, but I'm thankful for where I'm at and the progression that I have made.
Obviously, you have mental. Does that help? When you do that, do you do that to help yourself mentally, maybe through a moment, just to look at the progress that you have made, and where does that?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's always good to look back and kind of just see where you've come from, and just count your blessings every day. Although I might have been frustrated during camp to maybe not be out there fully with the team reps, to just realize where I was, and just not take it for granted, I should say, and just be thankful each day with it for sure.
Obviously, you have to get cleared in order to play, but after that, is there going to be some sort of mental hurdle to get over just to fully trust the knee?
Yeah, I don't think so. I feel good out there. I mean, obviously I haven't been hit yet, but just out there in the team drills, guys kind of flying all around, all those things. I don't feel like I have any mental hesitation, and I'm personally not worried about that.
Are you even thinking about it? Like when you were out there yesterday, was the knee something that was on your mind, or were you just focused on playing?
Just focused on playing.
The week 1 goal that you set, I think the first time you said that to us was the Super Bowl bye week. Was that a goal you set independently, or did doctors tell you that was realistic?
Yeah, I mean, that was more so independently, and I think, multiple different doctors, and obviously we've had a shuffle around in our own training room with doctors and everything too. So it was definitely with doctors' input, and mainly my surgeon at the time. Was a realistic expectation, but there's a lot of factors involved, and like I said, with the crossover now and different training staff and everything that we have going on, that was more so just a personal goal and hope.
Has that changed or affected you at all, the new training staff, new medical staff?
I don't think so. No, I mean, I think it's been really good. It's been a pretty fluid process, the transition, and I think everyone's pretty excited about them.
Who have you leaned on most to help you in terms of the mental approach of getting through this rehab?
Yeah, I mean, just leaning on the Lord, I mean, is number one, really with everything I do. But my now wife, I mean, she's been there for me ever since surgery, taking care of me, driving me to the facility, doing everything. So she's been amazing, supporting me, encouraging me, and I owe her a lot for sure.
Controlled environment has been a big thing. Yesterday with the weather, was there any hesitancy, maybe pushing it back a day, or are we past little things like that?
No, we were past that. Yeah, we just went out there, didn't, little moisture never hurt anybody. So we were good. We were full speed with that. Thanks, guys.
cricket been chirping, by the way?
We just had a meeting. Yeah, we need like a, I don't know, what gets like a snake? We need like a snake or a lizard or something to try to eat it up. But, all right.
What does it mean to get Brandon Graham back in the mix?
Well, I don't know how much he'll be back in the mix. I mean, there's steps he's got to take along the way. This is an important step, is getting back on the practice with his teammates. Probably be limited to just some individual stuff, and we'll sort of work him along. But it is great to have him back. We haven't really missed him. He's been in all our meetings. He's been around quite a bit, and obviously he's a guy that has done a lot for our defense. So it's nice to have him back on the field, but it's not like we lost him.
Jim, when you do get Brandon back full into the mix, it's a good problem to have, but is it a problem to have so many nickel rushers that are so good to get those snaps and make everybody happy?
Yeah, things that have never been said in the NFL. I have too many pass rushers. I have too many good corners. Those are things that defense coordinators, defenses in general value. You need to be built for the long haul. There's going to be injuries. That was well documented last year, injuries that we had. Part of filling those was having good depth, and you're not going to find a coach in the world that's going to complain about that.
Jim, you played multiple defensive backs in that slot role. How do you think they all performed on Thursday against the Patriots?
Yeah, I mean, I think just like everything, we're still a work in progress. Nothing's been settled there. Each guy brings a little bit different skill set, a little bit, different strengths and weaknesses to the position. Maybe, I think the competition is good, and I think this game will go a long way to deciding who's going to be out there in the opener.
It seems there's frustration among the players about the new rules. What kind of dialogue have you had about the penalties since the last game?
Yeah, we actually have. We're going to have a meeting this afternoon where we look at a lot of the fouls that, not just us, but across the league. And again, we're trying to be educated on what's going to get called and what's not. The instructions we've given guys is try not to lower your head and try to take your head out of it. And I think our guys are trying to do that. The other thing we say is you want to lower your target, but along with lowering the target and trying to stay away from the head, sometimes that causes you to dip your head. I think I can confidently say we don't have any players that are trying to play outside the bounds. We don't have any guys that are head hunting, that are being selfish. They're trying to play amongst or within the rules. I think you can see Nigel's play. He's trying to get his head out. I think even Rodney's play, he's trying to get his head across and get it out. The problem is they're dealing with world-class athletes who are moving targets. A little bit easier said than done. And those fouls have hurt us in these first couple preseason games. And we just got to get to a point where they don't hurt us in the regular season. It's going to be very important work over the next couple of weeks, not just learning from our own mistakes, but learning from other teams. And I think there's some other good feedback. We get clips from the league that shows not just penalties that were called, but penalties that should have been called. So there's a learning process, and that goes to all different things. You try to learn from defensive pass interference and defensive holding and different things and try to learn. We need to do our best to avoid penalties. Some are going to happen. Nobody's trying to get a face mask, but sometimes you reach out and that's the first thing you grab. We need the feedback is good and coming from other teams, coming from the directional league, coming from the officiating department. We need it to settle down.
So on the play with Rodney, where it's kind of the open field and the back is maybe trying to get low as well, and he's a moving target, what's the proper way he's supposed to go about tackling the ball carrier there, as far as you understand it?
I'll just go and say the same things. We're trying to take our head out of it. We're trying to lower our target, and we're trying to keep our eyes from dropping to the ground. Those are the things that we're trying to emphasize. But again, not all of those will equal not getting a foul, particularly if you get a moving target that works into your path. So we're trying our very best, and the players are trying their very best to comply with the rule.
Is this something that your video guys put together that you watch, or something the league sent out, or?
Oh, no, yeah, this is just stuff we do on our own. We do it, it's not just this, but we do a lot of stuff with defensive fouls. Sometimes you can learn best from looking at opponents, and during the week, we carve out time over the course of our regular season where we watch certain fouls, DPIs, roughing the passer, illegal use of hands, fouls like that, and try to learn what triggered the foul, what situation the guy was in. So that's nothing new. This just adds another thing to those clips.
How tough is it when there's a new interpretation like this to get guys out there not thinking about what I can do and what I can't do and just playing?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's something to that. You want to play fast. You want to play confidently on the field. But anytime there's something new, there is going to be adjustment. And speak not just for coaches, but for players, for officials. There's a lot of adjustment that's going on right now.
How much tougher is tackling going to be now if for the defensive players to react the way they're supposed to react especially when the offensive guy lowers his target, which is pretty much every time?
Yeah, it's a difficult thing. Like I said, we're trying our best to work through it, but it does add a layer of difficulty to what we're trying to do.
Do you get any sense from the league that they might consider adjusting the rule or adjusting the way it's administered?
No, well, I'm not in that loop when it comes to it. Our loop is our direction from officiating. And then, like I said, from coaches down to players, and then that feedback that works its way back up. But I'm a defense coordinator. I don't have contact with league officials and don't know what the league's up to.
Before you got here, you spent that year in the league office. Does that help you as far as kind of understanding their thinking and be able to teach it to your players now?
Well, again, there's a difference between officiating and then also competition committee. The officials don't make the rules. The rules come from competition committee in the NFL, and then the officials have to officiate those rules. I think the thing that was most valuable, God, that seems like another lifetime ago, but the thing that was most valuable in that was seeing things through an official's eyes and what triggered a flag to get thrown, and just hearing those guys, because there's a lot of times you'd argue that shouldn't have been called, but I think the better understanding is why it got called and what was the trigger that caused the official to throw the flag. So I think that it was valuable that way.
You talked about why Ronald Darby is probably playing at a faster speed this year because he came in last year and then had the ankle. But what is it about his skill set that gives him the ability to really lock down on receivers?
Well, I mean, he obviously has great speed. I would probably put it in this classification also. He's had, if not the best, one of the best all seasons of any of our players. Going back to first day of phase 1 and then phase 2, phase 3, mini camp, training camp, been very consistent. Came to us late last year, was sort of thrown into the fire, then got hurt and missed a lot of time. It was a difficult situation. We're really excited about where he is, and the fine for that, by the way, we'd smash your phone, throw it against the wall. Yeah, make sure you got the insurance. But back to Darby, he's been very consistent. The coaches see it, the players see it. He's playing with confidence. I think that the last step he needs to do is he needs to turn those PBUs into interceptions. PBUs are great, but interceptions are game-changing plays, and he's working really hard at it. We're excited where he is.
How much can the younger guy? You had some twos going against Brady the other night. How much can they? You look at Avante in the end zone there. How much can those guys get out of facing a guy like Tom Brady?
Well, anytime you compete against great players, it's going to raise your game up a little bit. And I think that whether it's in a preseason game like that, going against our offense, a lot of times we don't match groups. You'll see a lot of different things. you guys don't watch practice anymore, but I'm sure you saw a lot of times it was like, wow, that's threes against ones. And that's part of the evaluation process. You want guys that can raise their or maintain the same level of play regardless who's out there. When it's all said and done, if you make our 53-man roster, you're going to be on the 46 somewhere along the line. And if you're on our 46, you're going to play. And if you're going to play, you're going to play against guys like Tom Brady and everybody else. And we have to know if you're going to perform and what chances you have to look good.
How's the weak side linebacker competition going? Is anybody stepping forward there?
Yeah, I'd put that same as the nickel. We got different guys with different skill sets, different strengths. And this week, maybe next, but this week will go a long way to determine how we line up. We have another layer to that is that Nigel Bradham's going to be suspended for the opener. So it's not just trying to figure out one, but trying to figure out your best combinations. We have a lot of different personnel packages. What skill set fits best in short yardage? What skill set fits best in third down? What one fits best in all these different things. So I think that will continue. Again, it's not just one spot. We're going to have two spots there.
A bunch of players have praised Stephen Means just for his energy and effort during practice. Kind of what has he meant to this group over the last 2 years, and what do you see from him this summer?
Yeah, I think that's been documented by everybody. Stephen's a guy that raises everybody's level of play, not just the defense but the offense. I think Lane Johnson, if I'm not mistaken, has been strong in complimenting him and him getting him ready to play. And speak on what he's done in training camp this year. He's done the same thing. When he went into the game early in the game against the Patriots, it was quote first groups, and he was effective and was around the quarterback. Those are the things you look for.
All right, thanks.
Okay.
Locker room's open too.
Small crowd today, huh?
Mike, your early thoughts on the performance of the first team offense, or what's been out there, and the relationship between how they play in the preseason and regular season. I mean, as far as your experience in the past.
Right. Well, in reference to last week, I think we want to get off to a faster start, and we're accustomed to doing that, and that's part of going through the preseason process. And we pointed that out, and the guys understand that, and know what we want to try to get done here this week.
It seemed like Big B didn't have his best game. He's talked about how he struggled in the game. How do you balance valuing that versus what you've seen from him in the past?
Right. Well, we've got a lot of confidence in V as our left tackle, and we know what he's capable of doing and how well he can play. And like you said, he admitted that last Thursday night was not his best game, and we're certainly confident that he's going to bounce back.
Mike, with Carson back in team drills, Doug said 50-50, splitting the first team reps. How difficult is that to try to get somebody ready for September 6th and kind of have that uncertainty?
To try to get somebody ready in terms of splitting with Nick right now?
Exactly.
50-50 is pretty easy to split. So those guys are splitting the reps, and it's good to have Carson back in the huddle for sure. And it's just part of the plan that Coach and everybody in the building has laid out, and everybody's on the same page with it. I think it's good to see Carson in there, and I think particularly in light of Thursday night, it's good for Nick to be able to share those responsibilities right now too. So right now in preseason, getting ready for our third preseason game, doesn't present any conflict or any particular challenge in terms of getting those guys ready to play. Nick's gotten a lot of reps through the course of training camp, and like I said, it's just kind of introducing Carson back into the teamwork.
Mike, from a coaching perspective, Carson says it's going to be close for week 1. Why push it? Why just say, hey, stay over there? You ready? We know you're ready to go.
Right. Well, you make a good point. I don't think we're going to push it. We're going to listen to the doctors and the medical team, and they'll make that determination. So if he's cleared, he's cleared. And, once you say you're cleared, you're ready to go. It's not like you're cleared, but, so when they give us a green light that he's cleared, then we know that it'll be time to really get him, ramp it up and get him ready for the games.
Mike, assuming he's cleared for contact week 1, I assume that it has no bearing on your play calling. I mean, as far as having a quarterback coming back from an injury. I mean, if doctors have said he's ready to play, I mean, it doesn't restrict you at all.
No, it wouldn't. No, I think, like we said, when he's cleared, he's ready to go. He's out there practicing, all our plays. We don't have any restrictions in the play calls in practice. So he's doing the things that we'd ask him to do in the games, and he's getting ready to do that.
Mike, we talk about chemistry a lot between the quarterbacks and receivers. Alshon hasn't been able to practice. Nelson's been out. Marcus, Mac, a bunch of guys have missed practices. Do we overvalue that at this point, or is it tough to get on the same page?
It would be hard to put an exact value on it, but certainly that's one of the reasons why we're out there, is so that everybody can work together and find that continuity. And that's been challenging with different guys missing time here and there. So that's not an excuse. So the guys that are out there, the guys that we're expecting a lot of good things from, and they got to raise the level of their performance, and there's opportunities that come with that.
Do you expect then that there will be sort of a learning curve at the beginning part of the regular season?
I don't think there'll be a learning curve. They've worked together a lot. Just we have to get everybody back integrated in the offense, and it'll be exciting to see everybody in that first team huddle again.
With all those receivers missing time, who has sort of stepped up in their absence? Who's impressed you?
Well, Shelton's made some plays for us the last couple of weeks, which is exciting to see. It's good for him, certainly good for his confidence. And, he knows what we're asking him to continue to work on and continue to improve on. So he's focused on those things and, pleased with his progress really throughout this training camp. He's been diligent and come to work each and every day, and needs to continue to work on the things that we've asked him to. And if he'll do that, then, I think he'll continue to show up in the games.
Mike, yesterday Lee Johnson said the sheriff is back in town. Was Carson's return
I guess you would probably have to ask those guys, but like I said, it's nice to see him back out there for sure for all of us. He certainly brings an energy to the practice, and even in the rain yesterday, it was good to see him out there throwing, and that was a good situational deal for us on offense to have to practice out there in the rain. It hadn't happened very often, so that was good for us to experience that.
Mike, earlier this summer, Doug was talking about the offense and the approach. And he said when you want to do as many multiple things as you guys do, you need to look similar. You seem to have the kind of team, the versatility offensively to do that. I mean, running backs that can do multiple things, receivers that can do, you can line up anywhere. I mean, how much of a challenge is that, and how helpful is it with this group to be able to not tip your hand?
Well, yeah, we have to have plays off plays to protect, the core things that we like to do each and every week. That's part of the challenge, like you guys have asked already, is in order to do that, the guys need to be out there. So, that's part of the challenge that we face right now of guys missing time. But, we're very aware of what we want to get done and the things that, we think that we need to be able to do to present different looks to the defense and try to get the guys in the spots where they do things really well and remain multiple and continue to challenge the defense. So there's some things that you have to balance, obviously, when guys aren't out there. And we're just hopeful that they'll be back soon. Some I think are close to being back.
A lot of guys out of running back as well, especially for that 4 spot. How important is it to get live reps at that position? Because there's not a lot of live periods in training camp or
Right.
practice, and that's a position where you kind of have to see some contact. And does that affect those back end guys?
Well, I think that, they're getting the bulk of their live reps in the games. We only have a couple of live periods throughout the course of training camp. So the bulk of that stuff is coming in the games. And, if they're not out there, they're missing that time. And really, you just got to emphasize the ball security aspect for them. They know the plays. They know the keys that they're reading and how to fit. So they're getting those looks in practice. And we just got to emphasize the ball security, which they've been good with. Deuce does a great job with that. He's got great short area quickness. He really does. He's an instinctive route runner. He has strong hands, and he's picked up the system quickly, and earned the trust, I think, of the quarterbacks and being where he's supposed to be when he's supposed to be there. So he's worked hard.
Hey, kind of back to, we talked about V earlier. He played a lot, much more than I think anybody else. I think it was 95% of the snaps. Obviously, Jason's out of the picture, but was there a reason that he played that much? Was Jordan injured or anything of that nature?
I'm sorry, was somebody injured, you asked? Jordan? No, Jordan wasn't injured. Jordan got in at the end of the game, played that last series. It was just a decision that we made to keep those guys in there, and V was taking the first and the second team reps. So he did, like you said, he ended up playing a lot more plays in the game, but felt like it was valuable playing time for him.
Mike, what's been your view of Jordan's progress?
We're pleased with his progress. 2 weeks ago, played his first football game. So we're really pleased with his progress. He's doing everything that Stout's asked him to do. Some of these things, the first time is the first time for him, and he's got to learn from those experiences and then just continue to bank them and continue to get better each and every day. But his technique's gotten better, and it's not for lack of want to or trying. He really is attentive to every detail, and it's just trying to catch up to the game.
V plays all game coming up Thursday.
Does V play the whole game? No, we haven't determined that right now.
Possible.
No, like I said, we haven't had that discussion right now. Thanks, guys.